Horton Hears a Hoe.
And that hoe is Jim Carrey, boy.
Yes, he is.
I wish he had heard a hoe. This probably would have been a better movie, but
Yeah, definitely that. What is the deal where, like, is it Jim Carrey who says, like, hey, if it's Dr. Seuss, I got to be in it? Or is it the studio that says, like, well, if it's Dr. Seuss, we got to get Jim Carrey?
Oh, it's the studio pulling up a dump truck full of gold in front of his house and saying, motherfucker, you're going to do what we say. You know you are. That's a dump truck of gold.
oh yeah, I did have some integrity, but damn, that gold sure is shiny.
Whatever.
You know what? All his serious acting died when the number 23 just sank to the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
No, he said, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just going to play Dr. Seuss character.
Yeah, exactly. After number 23 flops, of course you're going to be a cartoon elephant. You ain't got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I'm going to go hear a hoe for Disney.
Yeah, so
Well, that's the formula. I'm an edgy comedian. What? That's not paying the bills? All right, family comedies, bring them on.
yeah, here,
Yeah.
come on.
It happens to them all.
Man, now, I don't want to be too much of a Dr. Seuss purist here, but come on, man.
Enough is enough.
These books are only about, 5 pages long?
Look, they're more than 5 pages. But the thing is, like, even the best of the cartoons, it's a 22-minute cartoon that's been padded out. You know, usually it's Chuck Jones, and he finds some clever things to stick in there to make it stretch to 22 minutes.
Yeah,
But-
no, I challenge anybody out there to take a look at The Cat in the Hat, The Grinch That Stole Christmas, even the Lorax, that little hippie motherfucker. What did you say earlier?
I love that little hippie bitch. He's awesome. Save the trees. I speak for the trees.
Yeah.
He was sitting around talking to the trees.
Yeah, have it-
Dude, you are so high.
I know. You need to make a cartoon with him, like, smoking a joint, driving up in a little hybrid car.
Well,
right?
plus, when you think about it, like, whenever you see actual talking trees, like in Oz or the Lord of the Rings, trees are assholes.
Yeah, pretty
So
much
why
most
are
of
we
the
trying to
time.
save them?
Yeah, their bark's worse than their bite anyway. But
Why'd you
here
do
nor
that?
there.
See, why'd you get him started,
don't
man?
do that.
I haven't been able to pull out that pun in a while. But you know what? You're right, though. They're taking these tiny little 35-word books and bringing them into 2-hour films. I mean, is this really a good idea? I mean, my idea is, why not take all the Dr. Seuss books and make them into one
That's
big
the
epic film?
That is the exact idea I had watching this. It's like,
yeah,
look,
I had that idea. That was mine.
Cyrus said you should make that, like, creep show.
no, he's right.
No, you should have, like, Dr. Seuss be the creep. He comes up from the grave and he's like, green eggs and spam. Yeah.
So, kiddies, now another tale.
Now, they didn't do that per se, but there is one of the best Dr. Seuss cartoons where they took 3 stories and put them all together in one cartoon. The one with the Starbelly Sneetches and the North going and the South going.
Cat in
Zacks.
the Hat's eye. Sorry.
See, I can't work with him.
Yeah, no, you're the drunk one. He ain't had a drop tonight.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
He saw the liquor coming from your pores. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Repeat that.
I'm saying they had one cartoon that had the Zacks, the North going Zacks, the South going Zacks, the Starbelly Sneetches, and Green Eggs and Ham. They put all 3 cartoons in one cartoon.
Damn.
Because they realized, like, hey, these are short. Let's stick them all together, and it works beautifully.
It's funny when you say all those together. It sounds like Dr. Seuss was really smoking some shit. He's like, I'm gonna write some children's books.
Like he
pretty
was.
much did, yeah.
There's no way. Theodore Geisel was, let's face it, he was a user. Let's not to put too fine a term on it, but him and Dr. Albert Hoffman, the guy who invented LSD, they were just, we're talking contemporaries here.
Yeah, no, he was dropping something. Yeah, getting high off those paint fumes or something.
There's no way you come up with shit like that without being high.
Yeah.
Well, they must have been high, but the people putting these movies together, they ain't high. They just greedy.
They needed to get high is the problem, I think.
Yeah.
That would have helped.
Yeah, let's talk about Horton Hears a Who. Now, I've never read the book. I mean, because Corey can't read.
It's a book.
Yeah,
Enough said.
because it's a book. I mean, shit, that might as well be a book full of Russian for me.
That's just when they put it in front of you and you be sitting there like George Bush, who just heard about planes crashing into the World Trade Center. He's sitting there flipping pages with the book upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the problem. The book was upside down. Oh, sorry. No. So in this movie, you read Horton Hears a Who, right?
Sure. I've even watched the cartoon.
Okay, so tell us what the story is about. Be succinct with this.
To be honest, this movie is not terribly inaccurate. I mean, it is all about Horton the elephant. He hears a voice coming from this speck, and he puts it on a little clover. He tries to protect it, but the Miss Kangaroo and her little kangaroo pup, her little Joey, they're like, you can't do that. You're hearing voices, and that's wrong. You're going to destroy everything.
He was so high, man.
I know.
And like not only high, but like anti-establishment.
It's very much all about how like, hey, you can't be different. You got to be with the rest of us who are not hearing voices and stop acting crazy. And just to show you, we're going to strap you down and we're going to throw this in some boiling oil. And the whole time you got the Who's like realize like, wow.
Well, wait a minute. The Who's are the ones who are on the spec.
Exactly.
Because on that spec, there is just a little micro universe.
Right.
And that's what Horton hears.
Right. Which you got to think like, so that means like the Grinch is microscopic too? Because it was the Who's he was taking all the Christmas presents from.
Was it? I didn't realize there was a crossover there. That was like a whole.
Oh yeah. No.
That's the multiverse for Dr. Seuss.
All the Who's in
Earth 2.
Whoville love Christmas a lot.
Okay.
But the Grinch, who lived just outside of Whoville, did not.
Wait a minute. Damn, man, Dr. Seuss was deep.
I'm blowing your mind, ain't I?
Exactly. I'm like, whoa.
Exactly.
I mean, sorry. Whoa. I'm going to be like Keanu Reeves. Whoa.
We should really start playing the White Rabbit song now in the background.
And the thing is, okay, you know, like with the Who's live this kind of blissful, ignorant existence, except you got the one Who scientist, like in the movie, it's the mayor, and they put a bunch of whole bullshit, you know, backstory on it. But in the original story, it's a Who scientist who's basically Jor-El of the Who's, who's trying to tell them, like, look, there's a world outside, and our world's about to be destroyed. And they're all like, yeah, okay, whatever, crazy mad scientist. Yeah, until he gets them to realize, like, okay, that earthquake, we got to all yell and get them to recognize that we are here.
Now, how do you expect him to behave towards him anyway when he says that 5.5 on the Richter scale that we just felt? That was actually a giant elephant who was talking to me. Sit your ass down.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, you know, they give him the Al Gore treatment, you know, like, oh, we don't even know if that's true. These bills are going to fall anyway.
Yeah. So, in the message of the movie is that no matter how small you are not insignificant.
Or alternately, no matter how crazy the shit is that you believe, it's still probably true. It's the other people who are crazy, not you.
Or it's we can't disrupt our society with imagination, or can we? Big problem with this movie. Like, okay, what message do you want to settle on? It's like it starts out with one message, then there's another message, there's another message.
Yeah, the biggest problem for this movie is that being that it is stretched out. You can tell a story. I think you can, if you need to stretch it out to an hour and 20 minutes, right, get a clever writer to do it. But the way they do it here is that they don't find that middle ground between writing for kids and adults. No, they got pretty much the brain dead story going on for kids here. And then they have all these references to pop culture or whatever for the adults. And that's all they are, references. There's nothing really clever about it.
It's the same formula that they use for, you know, the Jim Carrey Grinch and the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. I mean, it's we'll take the story, we'll pad it out, but we got these crazy comedians who are we're going to let them just riff, and they'll be funny enough that the audience will love it. And it's like, no, actually, they're too zany, they're too vulgar, and they've distorted whatever was clever or good about this. And the big problem with this movie is you don't have one, but you got two crazy comedians. You got Jim Carrey on one side and Steve Carell as the mayor of Whoville, both trying to out Jim Carrey each other.
Yeah, so Steve Carell's doing Jim Carrey?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, why would he do that? He's so great as Steve Carey.
Well, Cyrus,
you mean Steve Carell?
Sorry, Steve Carell. Yeah.
Well, Cyrus, see, the thing is, I don't even know if they're really trying to outdo each other. Maybe Steve Carell just sounds like Jim Carrey, because for me, you have other people in here. You have Seth Rogen. You have, what's that other Jewish kid that looks like him? Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah, Carol Burnett, who got out of her coffin just for this, apparently.
Isla Fisher. You got a lot of people in this movie, and they are all over animated. They all overact. They zip around the screen, and that combined with them just doing a bunch of stuff to fill in time. They're like, oh, we got 15 minutes to fill right here. Let's make the elephant just dance crazy.
I mean, at one point they go Kill Bill on you, where it just goes to an anime sequence for no goddamn reason.
an anime sequence.
An anime. Yeah. You remember the sequence where the Clover is going at fast and they show, like, it's not even anime, but it's an animated sequence of the Who's hanging on for dear life, like they're zipping through, a time warp or something.
Yeah, that was for no reason.
For no reason whatsoever. Huh. It's not even like their reality. It's not what's going on. It's not even what Horton's imagining.
No,
it just show you that. And you're like,
it gets to
do with anything else?
It gets to a point where it becomes an animator's movie where they think, oh, this would be cool if we animate in this style. So let's have Horton look like a Pikachu, and it's
Horton's
like
Tetsuo.
Really, I think you're right. I think like they had like a lot of animators come in with different ideas, and they probably shot a bunch of them down, and they said like, wow. Movie's only 40 minutes at this point. All right, go back in that garbage can and pull out some of those storyboards.
The problem is they see movies that Pixar makes where they've got stuff for adults and they got stuff for kids, right? And they manage to successfully blend these things organically into the story, so everything feels like it fits. So everybody's entertained.